Hey, what's going on, everybody? dmprojcttcor here. Finally going to have this discussion with you all that I've been wanting to have forever. And that is the great Final Fantasy VII versus Final Fantasy VI debate that I've had with many people over the past few years. And I'm gonna start it off by saying right now there are spoilers for both games in this video. So if you have not beaten them and you plan on playing them through to beat them, click away. Come back later. So let's get right into it. It's been known for 20 years now, 21 years now, that everybody calls Final Fantasy VII the greatest game in the franchise. And I disagree. I fully disagree. Final Fantasy VI is far more superior to it, in my opinion, but I'm also going to hit you guys with some facts. For starters, the storyline in Final Fantasy VII is so fucking stupid. It is so fucking stupid. It is so all over the fucking place for no reason. Like, none whatsoever. And there's so many ways to go ahead and fuck that entire game for you, to where if you watch Advent Children, ruined. If you look at any fucking storyline from it, ruined. If you play Dirge of Cerberus before you ever play Final Fantasy VII, it's fucking ruined. Why? Because these all take place after the fucking game. And it makes no sense. Whereas 6, if you play it start to finish, is the only way to know how the game ends. Unless, of course, you hop on YouTube and you fucking look up videos and then, you can see everything in the world. But that's we're excluding that. We're looking back in the day when these games were fresh. There's no way to ruin 6. That's 1. 2. Oh my god. The entirety of Final Fantasy VII is based off of a lie. Off of somebody stealing somebody else's memory. Off of literally just a bunch of made up shit that you have to fucking do. Only to get smacked in the fucking face to find out that there was no reason behind it. When you first escape Midgar in Final Fantasy VII, you are stuck. And yes, I said stuck. You are fucking stuck in a 45-minute unskippable cutscene, basically, where you're explained everything, where Cloud tells you his whole backstory, tells you his whole life, tells you why Sephiroth is the bad guy, tells you what happens, yada yada fucking yah. And what happens? It's not even his fucking memories. It's not. It's just a big fuck you from Squaresoft. And it's so, it pissed me off so fucking much. The first time I played this game was back in fucking 1998, 1999. Almost 20 years ago. 98 was 20 years ago. I was fucking 7 years old 20 years ago. And it pissed me off to the point that I sat the game down. I did not beat Final Fantasy VII start to finish for the first fucking time until 2007. 10 years after the game came out. Because when Cloud reveals that he made it all up and he's not who he said he was, and everything that he fucking told you in that 45-minute unskippable scene wasn't him. He was there, but it wasn't fucking him. And everybody went along with it. That is so bullshit. And I get it. It makes for a great story. I'm not going to downplay it. Because again, the game's great. Because that's the biggest thing I hear anytime I argue. Well, you just hated Final Fantasy VII. I have a fucking Buster Sword tattooed on my wrist. I don't know if you can see that with my lighting. Yes, I have a Mog from 6, but I have a Buster Sword too. It's just, it seems like it's a giant fuck you. That and the whole ordeal with the story. In all reality, The way that Square Enix, because I'm just going to call them what they are now, released this fucking game was wrong. They gave us Final Fantasy VII. They gave us Final Fantasy VII. Then they gave us the Advent Children. And then Crisis Core. Crisis Core should have been first. It's a prequel. It sets up everything. It is the entire story in Calm the right fucking way. With Zack leading it. Like it fucking is supposed to be. Not with some fucking dipshit emo motherfucker telling you it's his fucking life. That is the biggest reason that, again, I love Final Fantasy VII. But that was one of the biggest things that pissed me clean the fuck off. Why did I bring Final Fantasy VI into this? It's simple. Final Fantasy VI is the better game. Why? It is, to date, the only fucking Final Fantasy game that I'm aware of, and I've played almost all of them, where the villain does what he said he was going to do. Kefka said he was going to take over the world, was going to become a god, was going to ruin everything, and he fucking did it. That and the whole story is based on saving the fucking world, not, hey, this is what this guy said, but it ends up it's this guy's story. It's this guy's storyline. You'll never see him. He's dead already. I stole his memories. Versus, hey, we all have our own fucking story. We all have our own backstory. This is why we're out to save the world. And you know, oh, Sephiroth is the superior villain. Oh, no, he's not. He's a fucking crybaby little bitch who was made in a fucking lab and snapped and went fucking crazy because he's a fucking psychopath made up of chemicals and fucked up DNA. And it's stupid. It is just plain stupid. Granted, nobody knows Kefka's backstory. Nobody knows why he's crazy. That's what makes it better. That's what makes it better. You're not set up to believe that this fucking crybaby psychopath is just upset because mommy's in a lab somewhere. No, you're just, here's some crazy motherfucker who just decided, fuck the world. It's mine now. I'm going to take it over. And you know, Square Enix is known for some amazing fucking games. Especially the Final Fantasy franchise. The shit that they fucking threw into 7 was uncalled for. To make that game as large and as massive as it is, for it all to be based on a fucking lie. Based on some little crybaby psychopath who, you know, was genetically produced. It's kind of a slap in the face. And the fact that they announced a remake going on, what, it's 2018, going on now 3 years ago, and we haven't seen anything. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to play the fucking remake when it comes out. I plan to. But the fact that they announced that remake and then instead took 2 perfectly good Final Fantasy games, 3D remade them and ruined them, it's kind of a fuck you. Like, Square Enix, what are you doing? What the fuck is taking so long with Final Fantasy VII? Do you have to work in more lies that Cloud made up? Do you have to come up with more bullshit? Are you going to give us Crisis Core first? Are you going to do this the right fucking way? Or are you going to, you know, just shit on us again? I love Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VI is so much better. It's a game that doesn't take 27, no, it takes about 32. Last time I beat it was 32 hours. So it doesn't take 47 fucking hours to get through one disc! And that's not even the main part of the game! That's setting everything up. Disc 1 is the setup. Disc 2 is shit going wrong. And Disc 3 is just the final fucking bosses. Like, I get it. I get it. CDs hold less than the fucking cartridges do. But it's a giant fuck you to sit there and play 40, 50, 60 hours into a game to find out that A, everything you've been told is a lie. And it happened to somebody else. And somebody's just reliving it the way they want to. Changing the fucking names like it's some kind of goddamn cop drama. I lost my train of thought. It just doesn't make sense. The amount of shit that they shoved into that game, it almost looks like they rushed it. And like they wrote the fucking story out and they're like, wait, this makes no sense. Who the fuck is Zach? Let's throw him away. Oh, who the fuck is Cloud? Let's give him Zach's memories. And wait until the fucking player's almost at the end of the game. I want to say it's near the end of disc 2. It is near the end of the second disc where you find out that everything you've been told is a fucking lie. And it just doesn't make sense. Final Fantasy VI, you get to build yourself up there. There are no, ridiculous fucking backstories. There is no linear set path. You can play it how you want. You can figure out whose backstory you want to know more, whose you don't give two shits about. You can do whatever the fuck you want in that game. Final Fantasy VII, you have to stay on a fucking path. Yes, there's side missions. Yes, there's side quests. Yes, there's chocobo racing and breeding, and it's how you get the ultimate magic, or you can go beat this huge fucking water monster, this big fucking sand monster, and do other shit, but what's the fucking point? Once you get to a certain point, you're just like, okay, I just want to fucking finish this. I have played and beat Final Fantasy VII more times than I could even count. I've done the same thing with Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VII pisses me off every fucking time. Because there's always little shit that you get fucking stuck on. For no goddamn reason. There's no fucking reason for it. Why the fuck am I racing a chocobo 18 times to get out of a goddamn jail? Just because the fucker won't speed up. Why am I in jail? Oh, because allegedly somebody went fucking psycho and killed everybody. In a prison that's in the fucking desert. How do you know they didn't just drop dead? You don't. Oh, wait, that's right. Surprise, that was another fucking backstory that meant nothing to the fucking plot. At least, if you're going to have 1,000,001 backstories, have them mean something to the plot. 6, every backstory you encounter has to do with the plot of the game. Whether it's why they're saving the world, whether it's why they're fighting, whether it's who this person is. Shadow, his backstory. You have to discover it in dreams in the world of ruin. And it takes fucking forever. It does. But it tells you why he's the mysterious stranger, why he's rarely there, why he comes and goes when he wants. Locke's backstory with Rachel explains to you why he's fighting, why he won't leave Terra or Celeste's side. Edgar and Sabin's backstories mean something to the game. Barrett's backstory in 7 means nothing. It's not why he's fighting. He's fighting for his daughter. Shows you how he ended up in Midgar. That's about it. It's the fucking point in that. Big fucking whoop. You kill off Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse all at the beginning of the game without ever, with them being NPCs. For no reason. Because it adds excitement. It adds a reason to fight. No, it doesn't. Final Fantasy V is a piece of shit. I hate Final Fantasy V. Its storyline is more straight than Final Fantasy VII's. There's a problem with that. Final Fantasy IV is a fantastic game. Its storyline flows better than fucking 7's. 8 has a better story, and I haven't even finished 8. I'm still on disc 1 of 8. And I can tell you right now, it has a better story. What was the point in Final Fantasy VII other than to give fanboys what they wanted? And that was 3D graphics. It's 2007, or it's 1997, guys. We're going to get 3D graphics, okay? Look at the N64. We got Super Mario 64 if we really want 3D graphics that fucking bad. We got Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time from the Legend of Zelda series if we want an RPG that's in 3D. I don't get the story behind it. I don't get why everybody loves it so much because, you know, even if you're throwing the whole, well, it's nostalgia thing in there. Final Fantasy VI is older. Shouldn't you be loving it more if you're going for nostalgia? No, because it wasn't a 3D game. It was still 8-bit, pixelated. I mean, I haven't figured it out. There is no reason that Final Fantasy VII should be as big as it is. There is no reason Final Fantasy VI should be as hated as it is and as low down on the list as it is. The biggest surprise of my life was when Nintendo announced the Super Nintendo Classic and Final Fantasy VI was on it. Granted, it was labeled as 3 because that's how it released in America. But they released it. And then what did they do when the PS4 came out? Well, here's Final Fantasy VII, but it's the original. And as an even bigger fuck you to the original, if you look at the start menu, there's, you know, continue, new game, and then there's special movie, and when you watch it, it's the trailer for the fucking remake that we're never gonna see. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get what the big fascination is with Final Fantasy VII. Again, I love the game. It will always hold a special place in my heart. It was the first Final Fantasy that I played start to finish. That's right, I played 7 first, and then I played 6. And guess what? I love 6 more. I actually went completely out of order because I played 7, and then I played 6, and then I played 4, and then I played 5. And then I finally started 8 a couple years ago. And I've been playing a lot of 15. If you want to know how much I like 7, my solo gameplay YouTube channel is in the description. I've played it. I was doing a playthrough, and then I live streamed it on Twitch. I did the same thing with 6. They're great games. 7 is a fantastic game. I know I just spent the past 18 and a half minutes complaining to you about 7. It's a fan-fucking-tastic game. It was a beautiful game when it came out. It was exactly what everybody wanted. It's a gorgeous game in 3D on the PS1. It's perfect. But it's not as good as everybody thinks it is. If you've never played a Final Fantasy game, but you have friends who are Final Fantasy fans, you've probably heard this for years. 7 is the best game in the franchise. Wrong. Wrong. No. 7 is the best game in the franchise if it's the only one you've ever played. Or if you've played it, 10 and 12, because 10 and 12 are trash. 7 is not the best game in the franchise. I'm not going to tell you 6 is, because guess what? There's a lot of them I haven't finished. 6 is a hell of a lot fucking better than Final Fantasy VII, though. It's got a better story, it's got a better villain, and it's all around better. It was written better. For what it is, coming out in what, 1994? I don't remember. Hold on, now I have to look. When was Final Fantasy VI released? Shut up. When was Final Fantasy VI released?
Okay, I found this on the web for Shut Up. When was Final Fantasy VI released?
It picked up Shut Up. Oh, you piece of shit. I want to say it was 94. 1994. In 1994, that was the best you could ask for at the time. And you know what? It's beautiful. It is a beautiful game. It's written well. The graphics are fantastic. The enemies kind of blow. Fucking terrible. You get some of them that are just fucking shit shows. But it's a great game. And yes, it's my favorite. That's why I'm sitting here defending it like I am. Knowing the consequences of my fucking actions for sitting here defending it, because I can just see the little fanboys in the comments already. Oh, 7's the best. Fuck 6. 6 sucked up. Have you ever played 6? Try to finish. Have you ever played 6? I'm not talking about watching somebody play it on Twitch or on YouTube as a fucking speedrun. I'm talking about sitting down and dedicating 33 and a half hours of your fucking life to playing this game. If you haven't, shut up your arguments invalid. I don't want to hear you. If the only Final Fantasy game you have ever played is 7, you don't have an opinion in my book. Because of course, you're going to say 7's the best. You know what? Mystic Quest had a fucking better story than 7 does. Because it at least followed a fucking straight line. 7's does this shit and falls off in 1,000,001 places and tries to come back but can't. People are getting me worked up now. Fuck. The dogs are looking at me like, what the fuck's wrong with you? 7 is a great game for what it's worth. It has a lot of major fuck you moments, and it has a shitty fucking villain. Crucify me on the fucking cross if you have to. Sephiroth is a shitty fucking villain. He's a crybaby, and he's a piece of shit who tries to ruin the world because he's an experiment that went in vogue. Rogue, not Vogue. It's an R, not a V. Sorry. They're both great games, but 6 is far superior in more than one way. And I feel like I've nailed them all. If there's any points I missed, tell me. Fucking tell me. Let me know where I fucked up. Let me know what your opinion is. Because guess what? I welcome all of them. I'm not going to sit here and tell you your favorite game sucks. I'm just going to tell you I like this one better. And you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to have a discussion with you about why. I'm not going to dish you. I'm not going to bash you. I just sat here for 23 fucking minutes bashing Final Fantasy VII and debating why it sucked. But I'm not going to tear you down for your opinion. You played a Final Fantasy game. Fuck yeah, I love you. You're already in my book of favorites. Because there's not very many people that will sit down and play them. I know people that will watch Advent Children, which is a fantastic fucking movie. I hope that they use the same fucking engine they used for that movie to make the remake of 7. They won't. They'll probably use Unreal, yada, yada, yada. We're not going to go into that right now. I've got more important shit to worry about. But no matter the fuck what, if you watch Advent Children, you already know what's going to happen in the game. I found it online, started watching it the other day. My fiance's in the room. She wants to fucking play Final Fantasy VII. I stopped watching it because I realized how much of the fucking game it's going to ruin. Because if you want to skip playing the game, just watch Advent Children. You already know how it ends there. The opening fucking scene. Well, it's been 2 years since somebody called Meteor and the live stream popped up and stopped it. I just described all of Final Fantasy VII for you. Cloud's a psychopath who stole somebody else's memories. Feeds them to you as his own. You find out 3/4 of the way through the game that you're based off a fucking lie. He was there, but it wasn't his memories. You got a crybaby psychopath, failed experiment, who summons Meteor, and surprise, the live stream pops out of the earth after you defeat him in the center of the earth. And ta-da, world saved, Midgar's ruined, yada yada yada. Shinra goes down, blah, 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 blah. Really, they don't. If you watch Advent Children, guess what? The end of 7 was a fucking lie, too, other than the goddamn meteor being stopped. It's a game of lies. It's a game of fuck you. It's a game of here, fuck off. Spend your time playing this for no fucking reason. Whereas 6, you actually get a great fucking storyline. And guess what? Depending on which version you fucking play, after you finish the game, you can keep playing. You know, the world ends in Final Fantasy VI. Again, hopefully you heard the spoiler alert part and you're not watching this going, well, what the fuck? The world ends in Final Fantasy VI when Kefka gets his fucking way. Kefka gets his fucking way. Whatever way you want to fucking call his name. And the last part of the game, part 2 as I like to call it, because it's the world of ruin, you have to go find your friends. But guess what? It means something to find them. It's important to the storyline to find your friends. Granted, you don't have to find them all. You don't. I'll be the first to tell you. I didn't know this the first time I beat it. Maybe that's why it took me 33 hours to beat it. Because I went through and found everybody. When I went to the World of Ruin, I was 10 hours deep. I went and found everybody. Look up, cavesofnarsh.com because I'm lost. You ain't gotta find everybody. Okay, cool. Whatever, but guess what? You still get a cool fucking story for every person you find. You don't get that with 7. You get set everybody, and then you get to choose which 3 you're gonna go with you. For the record, Kate Sith and Red 13 are the ones I always pick. Because, Kate Sith is actually how I beat the Emerald Weapon the first time, because I lucked out and got a game over. His limit break, by the way, not an actual, oh, you all died. No, whatever. They're both great games. 7 is so fucked up that it can't be that. It can't be what everybody wanted it to be. It can't be what everybody saw it as when it came out in 1997. Excuse me. Again, I love the fucking game. But there's only so many fucking times that you can play it before you just get sick and tired of living somebody else's lie again. Whereas 6, you can play it until your fucking hands fall off. You never get tired of it. You know what? I have discovered new shit in Final Fantasy VI that I didn't know about some 20-something years ago. Granted, obviously, I just told you my age. I'm 27. I didn't play that game when it first came out. It's 3 years old when it came out. I'm pissing off my neighbor's dog with this argument. But now, the first time I beat Final Fantasy VI, it was 2009. I remember that. It was 2009. Instantly fell in love with it while I was playing it. Since 2009, 9 years ago when I beat it for the first time, I'm still discovering new shit. I just told you the first time I beat Final Fantasy VII was 2000, either 4 or 6. I don't remember off the top of my head. I just beat it again recently on Twitch, live. And I didn't find anything new. I didn't do anything new. I didn't discover anything that I hadn't seen before. It's the same game I played. 97, 2004, or 6, 2018. It's the same game. And I know you're going to look at me like I'm a fucking idiot. Yes, Final Fantasy VI is the same game too. But there's new shit that I haven't discovered. Because the first time I beat the game, I was just trying to fucking beat it. I'd never beat it before. I'd spent all this time in love with the soundtrack and in love with the way it looked and the 8-bit texture and everything that I was already convinced it was my favorite Final Fantasy game before I ever played it. And you know what? For the longest time, Final Fantasy IV beat it. I love Final Fantasy IV. That's another one of those really, really great Super Nintendo games. Fantastic game. I'm telling you, Square Enix hit the nail on the fucking head with the Final Fantasy franchise. But at the same fucking time, there's so much they do wrong with it. And the storyline board in Final Fantasy VII is one of those things. To go from the first Final Fantasy, which I'm not getting into, same thing with the second one and the third one. To go from those three to what 4 was, and then trying to go back with 5, and then to what 6 is? They could have ended the franchise at 6 and then skipped straight to what Final Fantasy 15 is and still fucking nailed it. With that being said, again, I love 7. I love 8. I still haven't played 9. 10 and 10-2 sucked. 11 sucked. 12 sucked. The 13 trilogy, what I've played of it, I've loved. I still haven't tried out 14 yet because it's online. And 15's fantastic. There have been a few misses. But Final Fantasy as a whole is fucking fantastic. I know, I just spent 31 minutes talking about 2 of them. That clearly says I don't get this fucking passionate about anything. But when it comes to Final Fantasy, fuck yeah. But they could have stopped at 6 and then jumped from 6 to 15. And they probably wouldn't have missed a beat. Granted, I know so many people are going to talk shit on me for that. Do it. That's what the comment section's for. Don't talk too much or I'll delete it and ban you from the channel. But, you know what I mean. They're fantastic games. Always have been. Always will be. I hope I don't kick myself in the ass in a few years when we finally get Final Fantasy 16 if it happens. But they're great games. Final Fantasy VII is not the best one in the franchise. Final Fantasy VI is. And if you missed why, rewind the video. Because I've told you. The story's better. It makes more sense. The villain's better. He actually succeeds in what he wants to do. And everybody's backstory means something. Not just Cloud. Not just Zack's. My bad. I'm not even going to call it Cloud's backstory. It's Zack's backstory. But he sells it as his own. And it's for no fucking reason other than to try to make himself look better. And it's bullshit. And it's stupid. And it pisses me clean the fuck off 21 years after the game came out. I know this seems to be the biggest thing I'm sticking on because it is the biggest fuck you in the world. And for everybody to say that's what makes the game good, it's not. It's what makes the game bad. And that's my opinion. And I will defend it until the day I die. Final Fantasy VI is better than Final Fantasy VII. I love you guys. I rambled on for 35 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed. My name is dmprojcttcor from Two Bored Nerds. And I love your faces. Let me know what your opinion is down in the description. Leave a thumbs up if you agree with my opinion or not, or if you just like watching me get this passionate about something. And you know, just I want to talk more about this. I want to talk with people about this that will actually listen, because everybody I've tried to have this debate with has just loved 7, hasn't cared for 6. So, but I love you guys. I'm running out of breath. I'm fat and old. I can't do this anymore. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one.